everyone, my name is Dwi Yulianti, and now I want to explain you about cultural conflict. Mau tahu? Scrum state that if the field of communicator experience is the same as the field of communion experience, communication will be run smoothly. And conversely, if the communion experience is not the same as the communicator's experience, it will be difficult to understand each other. In other words, the situation becomes non-communicative. The communication process is very important in determining the success of interpreting the message. Process is the essence of communication. A process is fundamental and also universal. The process based on experience between communicators and communion is also an important factor in the success of understanding the meaning of the miscommunication. Now in the pandemic era, we know to touch a lot to or shaking hands with others. And example, when Maria wants to shaking hands with Amy, but Amy refuses to help protocol reason. But Maria thinks that Amy is arrogant person because does not want to touch with others. According to Harris, ethnocentrism is tendency of a person with considers his group better than other groups, so that if encourage irrational actions such as violence, war, fighting, and so on. Well, this ethnocentrism can be visible and also invisible because it is considered a natural tendency of human psychology. Ethnocentrism is also synonymous with a negative connotation of other people's cultures because it can use misunderstanding in society. Even so, ethnocentrism can also strengthen a culture. Read from liputan6.com, ethnocentrism is the behavior of applying its own culture or ethnicity as a frame of references for assessing cultures, practice, behaviors, beliefs, and others. In social science, ethnocentrism is to judge other cultures based on their own cultural standards, not other specific cultural standards. Okay, next. When people use their own culture as a parameter to measure other cultures, they often tend to think of their culture as superior and see other cultures as inferior and strange. This makes ethnocentrism look negative. Okay, now example for ethnocentrism. In 2001, there was a customary war between the Asmat and Dani tribes. Each tribe felt that the tribe was the most correct and should be respected. The customary war is lasted for many years, and because before one side loses or is strong and exceeds the others, then the war will never end. According to Abate, Boca, and Bosciaro, stereotype understanding is a series of forms of thought systems in the knowledge of beliefs and one's experience of others' social groups. So, this view becomes a form of alignment of diversity that is acceptable or not. According to Branscombe and Bright in 2018, stereotypes are beliefs about the nature of or characteristic of social groups that are held to various views of other groups, either positive or negative. Moffitt, 2010, divides a stereotype into two large groups: negative and positive. 1. Negative. Stereotype with negative forms are perception of examples of assumptions that are described in the obsessiveness of the groups, the meaning of race, the meaning of the tribe, or others. So it is believed that this view can threaten social integration in society. And positive. Here another other form of stereotype is positive, where this stereotype is interpreted as the emergence of assignment that are good to society, which ultimately has an impact on the creation of a sense of tolerance as well as social integration in society. A real example in this positive stereotypical view can be seen in the description of Sundanese who see Japanese as someone who is friendly, sociable, and able to live wherever they are. So it is not imaginary for this behavior, the perception. And it be Sundanese look good. Okay, now example for stereotype. Such statement often come to everyone's mind quickly with the understanding that fat people must eat more than people who are not fat. So there is a stereotype that fat people are usually greedy. And also the assumption that fat people are usually lazy. It's also a form of thinking taken quickly because of the assumption that fat people never exercise. According to Baron and Byron in 2004, prejudice is a negative attitude towards members of our particular group. Many people form and have prejudice because prejudice can play an important role to protect or enhance an individual's self-concept or self-image. Social prejudice in a person, according to Cousin, is influenced by ignorance and lack of subject or object. And a person often punish or misjudge a particular object or subject before examining its veracity, so that the person gives an assessment without knowing that the problem clearly. Or in bigger words, the assessment is not based on sufficient fact. And now, example for prejudice. Social categorization is actually something that should be avoided so as not to appear prejudice. For example, there are differences in the presumptions of a particular image that cause a person to have certain prejudice of one's descendants who are desired more respectable or respected. Hi, okay guys, thank you for watching my video. So listening to for our explain to you about cultural conflict, and for all, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.